So basically this handle here is your front steering. Up is on. We have the axles up, we can shut it off.
That's those 3 axles.
Yep. I always recommend everybody leave it on because if you go over a curve or something, at least the trailer's following the way it should be instead of dragging it across the curb or something.
You said up is on.
Yep. This is for an auxiliary, which that would be like an attachment that goes in the back.
So like our booster?
No, this is just for like some kind. They have, I guess, different sections that go in the middle. And
Oh,
an extra hose that you can do something with. I haven't seen them yet, so you won't even use that. This is your compensating gooseneck. So it's the way it is dropped here right now. You want this handle down. The only time you're going to have this up is when you have your 3 axles down. So that communicates now with your gooseneck. So both of them will work together as you go over something. If we have this down and them down, when you go over, like say a set of railroad tracks, someone pick your truck right up off the ground.
Oh.
So you want this, will be up. I'll put it up now. So
Kind of like a
down.
float then.
Yeah. This is 5th wheel load. So this one we have, there's actually 3 different positions. So you have like up is your heavy. We can bring the one down and make it a half as heavy. And we bring them both down, it does a lighter, the 3rd. And then depending here on the cylinder positions, we can fine tune you even more. So you basically have 9 different positions to get your weight right by changing the position of the cylinders here. So we would unbolt these, we would either go up and make it heavier on the tractor, or go down and make it lighter.
So that's your shims, the little block underneath there.
There's other ones, once you take these out, there's a thicker one that'll go in here.
Okay.
There's 4 of them. So once you take this out and move it down to here, you're only going to have one thick shim that goes in, so it's sliding. Yeah, you pull this out and slide it through. Just got to use a crane or something to hold it.
So after you make the adjustment on it, then you got like head to the scale and or
You know by the weights, pressures.
oh, by the pressures. Okay.
Yeah, the pressures.
Conversion charge.
Right. So right now we're in the middle. So if we were in the heavy, it would be 2. We could come down here and say we were at 810. You put your about 31,000. Then if we were in position 2 on the blue with the green, down to 810, put you like 28,000. If you go to the lighter one, we're all the way down. It really drops you down to just a little over 20,000. So you can actually fine tune in 9 different positions. If you look, like it'll show you. See right here, steering off, with the axles up, steering on, the axles down, and these are your switches. This is your steering switches. So if you want to manually steer it, so you can get into a tight spot. We also have the remotes. If you do it that, you turn this switch on, the way it is right now. Then we can do this. Now you can see your front. This is your front 3. And this will be the rear 6 because they work together. And then these are your steering pressures. So in the morning you might get out here and there might be no pressure. So what we would do is turn the Boney motor on, turn your marker lights on your tractor, just do a quick bump and build it up to like 35 psi. If you don't and take off driving, when it builds pressure, it could steer you one way or the other. So we always want to do that. This is your rear 3 axle, left and right side. These are your front 3. The middle has gauges in the middle, but if there's no pressure, this will be lit. So we hook the truck up just cracking right on. And then back here, S1, S2. I gotta remember now because this has the extra one. S1 and S2 are for your stabilizer. And S3 should be your gooseneck support, like to raise and lower your gooseneck. These are left and right suspension. So like this down, we can use both together when it's empty, but when you're loaded, you want to go up little by little. And then do a little bit in the back, then switch it to the front and do the same thing to bring you up. And then these are like speed controls, low dividers. Just if you want to go a little faster, but I usually don't touch them. The way they set it. Also have, if you wanted to go on the 4-point right up here. But that would only be for a heavy load, center of gravity high, and you want to be on smooth ground.
What does that do?
It makes your 4-point suspension, so it makes it real rigid.
Oh.
But you don't want to be going onto a job site where you're going like this because your center of gravity is really high. And
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's gonna be.
most people don't use it because it's in a 3-point right now. So your rear and the front's 1 point. And you see that here when we hook up, I could just raise the whole front when the axles are down, one handle, and it'll go right up.
And you can raise it from side to side. So if we got a coil that's loaded a little bit
Yeah.
to one side,
You
we
would
can
do
bring
that
it up
with
and.
the- you're gonna do that with the back.
Okay.
Unless you go in a compensating gooseneck up here, but you
Right.
want to try to keep your front.
Okay. Wow.
And like the disconnect, where you disconnect the gooseneck and all, your reach under here. There's a knob here for your, you don't have to do the front one because your steering's on the back. So you pull this red knob down and it releases the pressures.
Oh.
That way you can disconnect your line.